Hi, thanks for watching. Back in the shed again, doing a bit more green turning. That sycamore tree that the turner's got at the moment is the gift that keeps on giving. And he is making some huge ones and I am making some smaller ones. And here are two amazing bowl blanks like I showed you the other day in their plastic bag to keep them dry. There's the other one. I'm going to keep the other one in here until I'm ready for it. We've got a nice camera angle on this and you can actually see the stripes. You can't always see these stripes when it's in the rough, but they're what gives it the kind of tiger mapley look. And if I just twist it like that, you can see the kind of two-tone shimmering effect they have. That will actually be present in the finished bowl, although we'll be cutting all this material away. Anyway, this being an extra long one, I'm going to use the tailstock to support it, and to do that I want to find the exact centre of where it is on here. So we're on the slowest speed, it's wobbling quite a bit, and I shall just go like that. Doesn't have to be finely accurate, but just because it's moving around there, it has actually made what looks to me like a spot in the middle. Let's just check. Yes, can see pretty clearly where the middle is there now. That's good. So we'll get the tailstock in there. And there we've got the tailstock in there. Just means that it rotates with this. It's pushing in quite hard. There's a hand wheel at the back here that I can tighten it up with. And it will need probably several tightenings while we work, because as it vibrates it tends to work loose. So I'll switch on. And there you can see the revolving centre there, rolling merrily around. Still a lot of unevenness on the outside of this, so let us take a nice sharp bowl gouge, check everything, check all the handles before you start in case it flies off. And it's very light cuts at this stage. Just trying to overcome the bit where it kind of sticks out, the wedge shape of the blank. Get through some of this. It will be much steadier. Any unevenness at all, of course, is making it vibrate, but this extra length really makes a massive difference to it. Anyway, we've got the corner off there. You can hear when it's on the uneven surface, it only catches once as it goes round, and then as you get those lumps off you get into the smooth part and you get a continuous sound then, because it's solid wood, until you get to the wedge bit at the end. And we're still working through that one. It is actually better cutting towards the headstock most of the time, but at this roughing stage it's just a question of getting the lumps out of the way. Also, the camera seems to get a better view if I put it on this side. And that's what it's about, because I'm enjoying sharing these turning videos with you guys. and it's always good to hear from you. You know, if I'm doing something radically different to the way you do it and it's causing some problem here, let me know. You know, this is great, YouTube. We share the information, don't we? Always interested to know. Let me know in the comments below. I've had my say, you can have yours. See, at this point I've moved the tool rest along. Let's make a bit more light there. Come on, that's better. I've moved the tool rest along. I've got all the unevenness off the outside. I've gone slightly round the corner here just to make that a bit smoother, and I've done the same at this end. So now it's not wobbling anything like as much, and I'm going to swing the bed out. Switch off first is always a good thing. I'm going to remove the headstock. No, I'm not. I'm going to remove the tailstock. And I'm going to swing the headstock out so I can get a better crack at it and you can get a better look at it. So I've swung her out, we've done all the levers up. Let me squeeze in. Let's get the tailstock out of the way and tightened up. Excuse the painty jumper, by the way, it's kind of a lucky charm with me. Check all the levers again. Can't check those things enough. We're okay. Let's go. Something's wrong here. There's wobbling sound. Sort of vibration of some kind. I think something was touching the tool rest. I don't know what. Cannot see what's wrong here. I think this blank might be a little bit too wet and a little bit too heavy for my machine, but it's getting smaller all the time. How strange. I want the tool rest a little bit higher than this though. If you're doing a big piece or if you're a beginner, always switch off before you actually do that. And what's happening? There's a wee bit loose on there. Strange. I'm going to stop a minute and fix this because there's some vibration there that I do not understand. Well, there we go. Kind of strange I was getting so much vibration. But I was just thinking, you know, I've never actually turned tiger stripe maple, and I never turned a piece of sycamore with this much quilting in it before, so maybe that's what it is. Now, this is being a strange customer so far. Let's go in close. Now this is what I didn't know was going to happen with these tiger stripes. It's not quite the same with quilting. It's the old thing of some end grain coming through, and a faster speed will sort it out nicely. But gosh, that's really fluffy and furry, and that I think is what keeps throwing the tool off and making the vibration so much worse. Let's have a look up closer and I'll get the tool rest out. A little bit too dark in there to see the grain. I'm working on some studio lights for this shed actually, so things will be more visible. But you can clearly see the tiger stripe in there. It runs all the way through this bank and appears to be coming out the other side as well. Yep, it's coming out the other side as well. So that's brilliant. Very kind of tricky to turn though. The last time I worked on anything like this was tiger maple, which is almost exactly the same thing. This is sycamore, but it's very, very close to maple in terms of what it is, how it works, what it weighs, etc. And yeah, the last piece of this that I worked on was actually the veneer on a Victorian harp, a pedal harp, you know, concert harp, that kind of thing. So obviously by the time it was a veneer and had been on a harp for 100 and odd years, all the fur had already been removed from it, so I didn't realise that was going to be an issue. And it's not really going to be an issue, I'll just have to be extra careful when I return the thing. Anyway, that's just about it done. Let me get this thing and open the chuck up. Turn anti-clockwise to unlock it, anti-clockwise inwards on the supernova. And there, I'm going to bring the camera back a bit actually. No, that's not working. One moment please. That's better, rested it down somewhere. Yeah, you can see that will eventually become part of the foot. It's a real good thing of using a chuck that you come out of it with this. When you use a faceplate, of course, the screws have to go in a lot deeper, even once you've reversed it onto a second faceplate. I've gone for a slight brandy glass shape here, just because I think it's going to look nice. That, you know, it is a nice way of doing the sides of a thing rather than just having them dead flat. And that will slightly play into whatever we end up with, because what will happen now, the bowl will oval this way across the grain. It'll shrink more than it does this way, and we'll end up with it slightly narrower here, slightly thicker here. And when it goes onto the lathe to be returned down to the final item, the final finished object, the thick bits will be kind of cut down to a level where they're level with the rest of it, and it's all smooth around. We'll do the same on the inside, and then get everything smooth. And, you know, we'll be sort of limited slightly in the shape we can end up getting out of this. But there's a lot of flexibility, because these are actually over 3/4 of an inch thick. They're actually coming up to 7/8 thick. And in my experience, this shouldn't crack it. I never worked with this tiger stripe before on the lathe, as I say, but I think it's going to be fine, because I think it really means it's tougher. Well, thanks again for watching. There'll be more coming up very soon. There's plenty more of these sycamore blanks to turn. And there's other things happening. Going to be doing some finishing as well on a beach plate as the weekend progresses. So keep it real, keep it Twig, brother. Pop in again, have a look. Thanks ever so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.